Assos is one of those places in Turkey that manages to be dramatic, scholarly, beautiful, and slightly mischievous all at the same time. Known today officially as Behramkale, the site's ancient name Assos comes from antiquity, when it was a thriving Greek city founded around the 7th century BC. Over time, the Turkish village that grew amongst the ruins took the name Behramkale, while Assos remained the name most people use for the archaeological site itself. Both names are correct, and locals use them interchangeably without much concern for academic debates. Assos is located in the Ayvacık district of Çanakkale province, on the southern coast of the Troad region. It sits approximately 25 to 27 kilometres from Ayvacık town centre, depending on your route, and dramatically crowns a volcanic hill overlooking the Aegean Sea. The position is no accident. From the summit, you can see deep into the Gulf of Edremit, and on a clear day, straight across to the Greek island of Lesbos. Most visits begin at the parking area at the base of the hill, which immediately introduces you to Assos' first challenge, gravity. The walk uphill can feel deceptively long, especially during the summer months, when the sun is unforgiving and shade is more of a suggestion than a promise. For elderly visitors or those who are less mobile, the climb can be tiring, but it is absolutely manageable if taken slowly. This is not a race, pausing for breath, enjoying the view, or stopping for a glass of tea along the way turns the ascent into part of the experience rather than an ordeal. Think of it as walking through history at a sensible pace. Along this route, you will encounter street vendors, many of whom are enthusiastic enough to qualify as motivational speakers. Whilst they can be a little persistent at times, a polite "no, thank you" is usually all that's required. There is no need for dramatic refusals or pretending not to speak any language at all. Courtesy works just fine here. As you near the top of the hill, you'll pass the Murat Hüdavendigar Mosque, whose name is often misspelled, but refers to Sultan Murad I, known as Murad Hüdavendigar, an early Ottoman ruler from the 14th century. The mosque dates to the Ottoman period and was built using stones taken from ancient structures, a common and practical practice of the time. Nearby, slightly downhill and outside the immediate ancient city area, is the Murat Hüdavendigar Bridge. This is a stone bridge believed to be from the same period. It lies roughly 1 kilometre from the main archaeological entrance, and whilst not part of the ancient Greek city, it adds another historical layer to the landscape. At the top of the hill you reach the archaeological site of Assos, where entry is possible either by paying cash or by using a museum card, müzekart, which is valid at many historical sites throughout the region. If you're exploring Çanakkale and the North Aegean seriously, the card quickly pays for itself. Just inside the entrance is a small tourist information and souvenir shop selling guidebooks, postcards and local items for those who prefer their history with something tangible to take home. The crown jewel of the site is the Doric Temple of Athena, one of the earliest Doric temples in Anatolia, dating to the 6th century BC. Standing here feels almost theatrical, ancient columns in the foreground, the endless Aegean behind them, and Lesbos island clearly visible across the water. This is one of the most photographed views in the region, and deservedly so. It's also one of those rare places where even the most determined phone scroller tends to pause and look up. Assos was not merely scenic, it was intellectually important. The city flourished under the rule of Hermias, a philosopher king and associate of Aristotle, who lived and taught here in the 4th century BC. Aristotle founded a philosophical school in Assos before later moving on to Macedonia, where he would tutor Alexander the Great. The city later passed through Persian, Hellenistic, Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman hands, each leaving traces in the walls, gates and public buildings scattered across the site. From the Acropolis, a dedicated stone path leads downhill through the extensive ruins of the ancient city. This route takes you past the agora, gymnasium, city walls and residential areas, revealing just how large and complex Assos once was. It is a long walk, and by the time you reach the lower sections, you'll feel you've earned your lunch, but it is unquestionably worth it. The return climb, especially in high summer, can feel a little daunting, but it helps to know that during the summer season you can also enter and exit the lower part of the ancient city directly from the road below, avoiding the uphill return entirely if needed. When you finally return to the car park, having earned both your views and your steps for the day, you may want to stop at Cengiz restaurant for a bite to eat or some light refreshments. It's an ideal place to recover after the climb, and the atmosphere is relaxed and welcoming. Be sure to ask to see and sign their visitors book, which has quietly become a small historical treasure in its own right, filled with comments and names from travellers who have made the same journey before you. The staff are friendly, helpful and happy to point it out if you ask. At the junction where the ancient site main road meets the road leading down to the harbour, you'll find the statue of Aristotle, a fitting reminder of the city's intellectual legacy. This lower archaeological area was closed for a period due to concerns about unstable rock formations, but as of 2024-25 it has reopened with safety measures in place, allowing visitors to explore this section once again. Below the ruins lies the modern Assos harbour, a small village that has transformed over the years into a charming tourist destination. Stone houses have become boutique hotels, waterfront buildings host fish restaurants serving the day's catch, and the harbour itself remains quietly picturesque rather than flashy. Reviews from 2025 consistently praise the atmosphere here, relaxed, romantic and refreshingly unhurried. It's the kind of place where dinner stretches longer than planned, and nobody seems particularly bothered by that. Assos manages to be many things at once: an ancient city of philosophical importance, a demanding but rewarding walk, a place of extraordinary views, and a living village that knows how to welcome visitors without losing its soul. Yes, the hill is steep, the sun can be fierce, and someone will definitely try to sell you something you didn't plan to buy. But these are small prices to pay for standing where Aristotle once taught, looking out over the same sea, and realising that some views and some places never really go out of style.